Now, it is no secret that the 2021 season for Haas was, well, it was bloody dreadful. But just how bad was it, and what awful records were they able to break? Sit tight, and probably put a seatbelt on for this one. So, firstly, thanks to Sky Germany estimates, we do have a rough understanding of the crash repair costs accumulated over the course of the season for each of the drivers on the grid. And, well, it's fair to say the Haas boys did quite a lot of crashing. So, just how costly were these mistakes? Well, if we take a look at the grid as a whole, we see Nikita Mazepin coming in at 8th place on €2.5 million, which isn't actually that bad, but Mick Schumacher coming out on top with €4.2 million in damages. That's a hefty amount. That's a total of €6.7 million over the course of the season between both of the drivers, and paired with a budget cap of just €127 million for each team, that is over 5% of the yearly budget just spent on crashes. Which, okay, seems like a small figure, but that is a very large proportion of the budget, especially for a team that is almost certainly not operating right at the limit of that 127 million budget cap. And to add some more context here, Belgium 1998, a crash involving 13 cars and is suggested to be the most expensive crash in Formula 1 history, was estimated to have done around €11 million in damages. This means that Mick and Nikita cost Haas well over half of the most expensive crash in Formula 1 history. But if we compare Haas's tally to other teams, we see that they come out almost €1 million ahead of the next closest team in Ferrari, which in itself hints towards a big issue that the Scuderia also need to sort out, but that's a topic for another video. Haas then have a €2 million lead on Williams in third, and an astonishing €6 million lead over the cheapest team in Alpine, who, having only realised when I was tallying the team's totals, did an absolutely amazing job to have only about 25% of the damage costs of McLaren in 9th place. Good job, guys. Now, while crashes are a slightly more exciting metric than points and final results, it's pretty telling just how bad this latest era of aero regs have been for the American outfit. When they joined Formula 1 in 2016, they entered with a literal bang, and the whole grid and a large chunk of the sporting world realised that they were there. Especially one Fernando Alonso, who was sent barrel rolling into the barriers at over 100 miles per hour. No biggie though, man's just built different. In 2016, they secured 8th place and 29 points with the duo of Romain Grosjean and Esteban Gutierrez, a driver who scored a whole 6 points in 59 races in his Formula 1 career, and literally could not stop finishing 11th, even in Formula E. Man's got consistency. But overall, it was a genuinely solid debut year for Haas. In 2017, they evidently got quite annoyed at Esteban constantly forgetting that points are actually only handed out to the top 10. So they gave him the boot and brought in a certain Kevin Magnussen to pair Grosjean for the season. They made steady improvements as they now had two drivers very much capable of consistently finishing in the points. This means they ended the season with 47 points, but remaining P8 in the constructors' standings. In 2018, they showed massive improvement that was very much evident in the first round of the season after they again sparked conversation at the Australian Grand Prix, after dramatically having both cars forced to retire while running P4 and P5. Well, and causing some very funny moments in Netflix's Drive to Survive. But overall, they finished the year an astonishing P5 in the constructors' standings with a tally of 93 points. The outfit were riding high, the American anthem was blaring around the paddock, they seemed unstoppable with their momentum, meaning they would surely enter the upper echelon of the sport and write history. And from here it's all downhill. They had a new title sponsor for 2019 in Rich Energy and a lovely new livery to boot. And the less said about that, the better. They weren't quite able to use the momentum of the previous few years to build and improve on their position, slipping all the way down to 9th place in the constructors' standings on only 29 points. In 2020, their fortune didn't improve, remaining in 9th place but only picking up 3 points over the course of the season. And it was a season that so nearly ended in tragedy in Bahrain, with what would see a final outing for their long-term lineup. In 2021, we saw 2 brand new rookies coming from a relatively okay Formula 2 grid, with the champion in Mick Schumacher and the 5th place Nikita Mazepin taking to the wheel. It was very evident that the 2021 season was going to be a struggle for the team very early on, given the regulation rollover from 2020 and Haas stating that full focus would be on the 2022 car. Now, 2021 turned out to be, well, it was dreadful. So we'll be skipping over quite a lot here, but in Bahrain, for round 1, Nikita Mazepin was able to make it a whole 23 seconds into his debut race without crashing, and his teammate Mick Schumacher about 30 seconds before spinning. So I suppose it could have gone slightly better. But it really did set the tone for how the rest of the season was going to unfold. But look, let's search for at least one achievement. Yes, there was one. Sort of. It may have taken all the way until round 16 in Turkey, but Mick Schumacher actually got out of Q1 and into Q2. That's all in terms of achievements, really. Sorry. Unless you count being able to crash under safety car in Imola as an achievement. I mean, it's definitely impressive, at least. But, yeah. It was a pretty cruel and grueling year for the team at Haas. Now, I don't think we quite need a spoiler warning for this, but they ended the 2021 season on 0 points. And in P10 in the constructors' standings, it was the team's worst year in the sport measured by both metrics. It's pretty grim. But where do they go from here? Will next year be as much of a disaster? Laugh. Hey, Editor RaceBeacon here, and I just want to say that joke was catastrophic. Sorry, back to the video. Their lineup hardly seems remarkable, and other teams around them simply have stronger pairings, more experienced team members, and for the most part, a bigger budget. Well, they showed in 2018 that a small, plucky team absolutely can perform in the tough world of Formula 1 and pick up decent points. And all that they need is a Braun-esque breakthrough, and they could be back into the points on a regular basis. But what do you guys expect from the team in 2022? For me, it's 8th at best, but prove me wrong, guys. Prove me wrong. So thank you guys for making it this far into the video. If you did enjoy, then please do hit the subscribe button. It's free and it really does help out the channel. We're aiming to hit 5,000 subscribers by the time pre-season gets underway in late February, and to hit that goal would mean the absolute world to me. Also, don't forget to tune into our weekly midweek live streams right here on the YouTube channel, where you can ask me questions live throughout the show. So make sure to ring the notification bell to ensure you don't miss out on more of these videos and the streams. Have a great day. Goodbye.